Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Rico back at it again, live and direct, representing the Buffalo Fanatics. You are tuned into the Rico Report. Y'all know what it is, man. Smash that like, you guys, as you guys hop into this room. Y'all already know what it is, man. The trade deadline day. Trade day, right? And it went out quietly. But the last minute, the last hour, the Bills pulled off a trade with the Green Bay Packers. We've got the details to come along with it for folks. As you guys hop in this room, smash that like. If you guys aren't following me on the old X, the old Twitter, hit me up on the X Factor X Twitter app. It's the Rico_BF_. Hit me up. Y'all know what it is, man. So appreciate you guys. Let's dive right into it, folks. Let's dive right into it. The Bills, listen, man, it was quiet. It was quiet. We weren't sure what these Bills were going to be up to, but they were able to knock it out. They were able to find a need, and not just any need. It was a need that, according to PFF, is the number 8 cover corner in the game. And that is Rasul Douglas. Rasul. I don't know if I could put a little Spanish on that, but Rasul Douglas is headed to Buffalo on a relatively good deal for the Bills. I think the Bills absolutely captured this deal, and it works out best for both parties. And just to get the details down so you guys understand what we got here, the Buffalo Bills jumped in and grabbed Rasul Douglas and brought him to the Bills. And in exchange, folks, ladies and gentlemen, in exchange, get my details here. We gave up a 3rd round pick for Rasul Douglas, and we gave them a 5th. All right. So we get a 5th, and we gave up a 3rd, but we get Rasul Douglas. Here's the deal. There, from the Bills standpoint, I know there was some sexy names out there. It would have been nice to get Jalen Johnson. It would have been really nice, but top flight players like that do not come cheap. Do not come cheap. And it's like us sitting here and somebody coming to the Bills and saying, you know what? I'm really interested in one of our best players. You know what I'm saying? I'm really interested in Matt Milano. What's it going to take to get Matt Milano? What's it going to take, guys? Like, we sit here and we're not sitting here, hey, if you give us a 4th, maybe we'll part ways. Heck no. Right? We're going to want the most for him, especially if we were in a position not to bring him back, right? So we want to get the most for that player. So in this regard, the Bears were like, fam, we still have hope that we can bring this guy back. So we're not just going to give him away so you guys can benefit and fleece us. It's not going to happen. So that was a pipe dream for Bills fans. That was a pipe dream that we thought potentially we could probably make that happen. But folks, it's a different ballgame these days. You've got to come with it. And Brandon Beane is certainly not going to give in and give up too much for anything. I think he already probably felt that way. In my opinion, I think we got the right value for it. But Von Miller did not come cheap. So he ain't about throwing his money away. Definitely ain't about throwing his money away. So that being said, folks, Rasul Douglas makes his way over to Buffalo. What do we gain from Rasul Douglas? What does he bring to the table? Well, let's put it this way. He brings size and length, right? 6'2", 200 pounds, 209 pounds. So he's no lightweight. He ain't no Todd Pinkston, right? He's got a little flesh behind him, and he's got some length. He's got 32 to 33 inch arms. So not only does he have the length, not only does he have the size, folks, he's got the experience. Been in the game since 2017, 28 years of age. He's got this, he's got the size. And we weren't in a position to just stick with what we had, because I'm gonna tell you this. I had a tweet. I put a tweet out, and it was like terrible timing. You know how those things go. I'm like, man, it's gonna be a couple things that's gonna happen. Brandon Beane is gonna tell us in the presser that, you know, saying one of four things, right? We were on the phones all day. You know what I'm saying? We tried our best. We were on the phones and nothing materialized. We trust the guys in this locker room, right? He was gonna say that. You know he was gonna say that. We trust the guys in this locker room. We trust the talent that we have on this. I mean, there were so many routes that it could have went, right? We couldn't strike a deal, but the fact of the matter is this: they're trying. Brandon Beane is trying, and don't forget, we don't have the funds. We are broke. We don't got money, man. We had to go into the emergency funds probably for this one. The beautiful thing about this deal here is Rasul Douglas. We not only get Rasul Douglas for this year, but we also get him for next year. And this year's salary is less than $1 million. It's like $800,000 for this year. So that's why he was able to, it's able to fit under the cap. Now, as for next year, that's a whole nother ballgame. Now we can, move some things around, and if it pans out the way we need it to pan out, we'll shake some things around and go from there. Now, the challenging part is Trey White muddies the waters a little bit. And he muddies the waters on a couple standpoints. On a emotional standpoint, we like Trey White. We respect Trey White. We know how hard Trey White worked to get back to where he was at. We know that. I think we're all on the same page in that regard. However, Trey White, he ain't no spring chicken, right? He's now, this is his second major injury that he's got to deal with. He's got to come back from. What shape does he come back to the Bills? Is he a shell of himself? Does he come back right into it like the old Trey? It's hard to predict that. And if I were a betting man, I would say I don't think we see the same Trey White, or I don't think we even see Trey White back. Maybe it's an injury settlement. I have no idea. And if we do bring it back, great. But it's just, this is the nasty part of the business. And when you have to make a move, this is the move you got to make. And you got to bring in a guy like Rasul Douglas. Now, here's the deal. Most fans might sit here and be like, Rasul who? I don't know who Rasul is. Rasul Douglas? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Well, Packers fans used to say. And I'm going to tell you this, man. Packers fans, I mean, if you ever want to know how a fan base, if you want to know if your team has acquired a guy that's good, acquired a guy that is of value, don't look at Bills Mafia's Twitter, because it's a whole bunch of critical people, homers, and everything in between. But you're never going to get an honest take unless you go and look at the enemy lines and you go over into Packers land, and then you start reading what they have to say. And I snipped a couple tweets so you can see how Packers fans feel. Let me jump on this one here real quick. And my man Muffinton is not a fan. He wasn't a fan of Rasul Douglas, and he's saying, hey, everybody needs to be quiet. He says, dude took so many penalties and gave up lots of TDs while looking around after like they were not his fault. Get a grip, Nagler. So I guess he's talking to Aaron Nagler here. And that kind of reminds me of someone that used to be in a Bills uniform. That a lot of Bills fans were talking about, yo, this guy cannot take any accountability. That's Stephon Gilmore. Remember? Stephon Gilmore would get burnt. He'd be like, yo, man, fam, we were in cover zero. That was your man. What you talking about? What you looking around for safety help? Everybody's man to man, son. Everybody's man to man. What you talking about? So this guy over here is like, yo, get a grip. He wasn't great. See, that's one opinion. And that's the thing about opinions. There's a whole lot of them. But I'm going to tell you this. Majority of the things that I saw today were things like this. Here's this one. Packer History comes in with a tweet. It says, across 3 seasons in Green Bay, Rasul Douglas compiled 174 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 10 interceptions, including 2 pick sixes and game clinchers. One in 2021 at Arizona and one in 2022 versus Cleveland at Miami. So that's huge. That's massive, right? Another one. Nick Hauser says, I like to judge Bills trade. That's perfect. I like to judge Bills trades by how the other fan base reacts. Packers fans are absolutely devastated with the loss of Rasul Douglas. So it kind of gives you an idea of what we're sitting here with, right? Here's another one. Matt Schneidman says, yeah, the pulse of the Packers defense is on his way out. Here's one thing, the theme that I'm gathering is that this guy was well respected. This man was well respected in that Packers locker room and within the fan base. The fan base absolutely loved Rasul Douglas. He was a difference maker, right? Here's one. An NFL Talk comes in and says, I feel like the Packers made a mistake by letting Rasul Douglas go. Was a leader of Green Bay and playing very well for that defense. Let me keep going, folks. Here's one from Kyle Malzahn. It says, Sunday was the 2-year anniversary of Rasul Douglas' game-sealing interception against the undefeated Cardinals. One of the coolest games I can remember. The Packers were undermanned, and Rasul ends it against the team that gave up on him. So what they're talking about is Arizona gave up on him, and I guess he was on the practice squad or something of that nature. And in comes Green Bay. They snag him off the practice squad, and then he's the one that comes in and ends it against the Cardinals, right? So pretty cool tweet there. Eli Berkovitz comes in and says, the Packers just traded Rasul Douglas to the Bills. Don't know the compensation yet, which we do now, but I don't like this. Rasul has been playing too good and is too much of a leader to trade away right now, right? See, this is the sign of respect that these guys had. Our very own Carl Jones says, according to football insights, football_insights, the Packers ran zone coverage on 77% of their snaps. That's tied for 6th in the NFL. Rasul Douglas will slide right in with the Bills in these zone-heavy schemes. So you couldn't have asked for a better situation. And last but not least, one of the comments that came in, I thought that this one was apropos. Nicole Menner says, shocked to see this. Obviously a loss on the field, but the Packers also lose a leader and a great voice in that locker room. So this is huge. That's a vote. That's a big vote of confidence. That's a big thumbs up as a fan base that's receiving. For those that don't know about Rasul Douglas, they're like, oh, who are we getting? What's going on? Well, first and foremost, he's a locker room guy, and that's a McDermott guy. He's a team first guy, and he's been around. He's seen a lot. He's seen enough. And the one thing that I do love about his skill set is he's got interceptions under his belt. The last 3 years, he's got 9 or 10 interceptions. The Bills altogether have 12 in the last 3 years. So think about that. Think about that for a second. So that this man, I wouldn't call him a ball hawk, but he definitely knows where the ball is, and he's getting to where he needs to be when it comes down. So shout out to my man Rasul Douglas. So here's what it's looking like for compensation for our new corner, our acquired corner, and Rasul Douglas. So here's what the Bills receive. The Bills will receive the 5th round pick. They'll also receive Rasul Douglas, obviously. And here's the beautiful thing about this. His 2023 cap, where salaries he's $838,000, less than $1 million of play that we get from him this year, which is great. And 2024, $9 million. Now, non-guaranteed, so we have the choice to do what we need to do if need be. Will we turn that into an extension, 2-year, 3-year extension? Who knows? All depending on how he plays this year. And I think that he'll excel in this defense, right? Now, Green Bay, on the other hand, it works out for them too. They get a 3rd round pick from the Bills, and Green Bay frees up $6.5 million off the 2024 cap space for this move. So it's a win-win situation. When I used to be in the car sale business, and I did that for like 5 years, and there was a saying that when both parties, and I was like indifferent about this, but I kind of made sense. When both parties aren't happy, that means it's a fair deal, right? So if you come away with it, you're thrilled, and sometimes both parties are thrilled. But when you're like, I gave up a lot, but I didn't get what I needed out of it. I mean, I could have had more, but I still feel good about it, and both parties feel the same way. It's a fair deal, and this actually works for both. They're clearly somewhat in rebuilding mode, in retooling, and the Bills are in need of depth. They are in need of depth. So this actually works out very well for these Bills. So the Bills have acquired veteran corner Rasul Douglas to the Bills. Now, there's more to unpack about Rasul Douglas, the player, and here's what type of player he is and what he's going to bring to this table. And I could talk about it, but I kind of want to play you a couple clips just so you kind of have an idea of what he brings to the table. So here's one clip coming in, And it was a bit of a film breakdown on what he's going to bring to the table and what he brings to the table in terms of the schemes that we use. And I think this is the perfect fit. Check this out.
3rd and long. The Packers in dime personnel. Rasul in the box. Justin Fields back to pass. And he makes one Packer miss. Then he makes another Packer miss. And now it's just Fields and Rasul one-on-one in the open field. Now, Fields is one of the most dangerous runners in the entire NFL, regardless of position. And Rasul not only brings him down, he brings him down with authority. And the Bears punt. 3rd and long again. The Packers in dime again. Rasul in the box again. Justin Fields can't find anything cooking downfield, so he checks it down to his running back, Roschon Johnson. Now look at this. Johnson has your entire picture to work with. But look at Rasul. He is coiled and ready to strike, and strike he does, cutting down Johnson, and the Bears are punting again. How about Rasul's day job? Covering receivers. The Bears have a tight end, Cole Kmet, that they think is the second coming of Mike Ditka in the red zone, but not against Rasul. You talk about in-your-face coverage, we're looking at it. You talk about instincts. Look at Rasul putting that left hand out at just the right moment to bat that ball away.
Well, there you have it. Just that's just a little bit. It looks inside like from the 1975. Oh, listen, look at the brother that was doing it, right? But nonetheless, if you kind of understand what we're getting a guy that's physical, not afraid to get in the dirt, not afraid to tackle you, and you need to be that type of corner in this defense. And I'm not saying he's a world beater. I'm not saying he's an elite tackler, but he's not. He's a willing tackler, and that's what you want to be. You want to be willing, and you want to be able to get in the dirt and really get your nose dirty, right? That's number one. Number two, he's instinctual, right? And the one thing that I will say is when you're able to locate the ball and get your turnovers, you're instinctual. You know where you're supposed to be, right? Or you're in the right place at the right time. There's some times where you may not have the attributes of speed and agility and all those things to be elite. But if you know where you're supposed to be, you know the scheme, and you have a feel for the game, this is a game changer. And this is one thing that I will say that is a benefit to the Bills is that he will take chances. He will take chances. When you're a rookie corner or you're a young corner, you just want to get your assignment done. Make sure the guy doesn't catch the ball, and away we go, right? But when you have a guy that is will take chances, will make a quarterback pay, that's Rasul Douglas. Rasul Douglas comes in and gives you that opportunity. He gives you that play. And the fact of the matter is this: he's in a defense that is majority schemed as a zone defense. So to me, there's no and ifs or buts about it. It's going to be Christian Benford, and Rasul Douglas should immediately take that role. Now, it may not be right away. It may not be against this Bengals game, or maybe he does come in. Maybe he does come in and says, all right, I'm good enough to be this starter right now, or they might just make Dane Jackson split time with him. But eventually, he will take over as cornerback 1 or cornerback 2, however you want to look at it. They didn't bring him to be depth piece. That would be an absolute shame. You don't give up a 3rd round pick for this brother to come in and sit behind Dane Jackson. Sorry, no disrespect to Dane Jackson, but you just don't. Now, the one thing that I will take away from Rasul Douglas coming to the Bills is that not only is he going to obviously be an excellent player for the system, but you've got young minds around you. If you think about it, think about what we have in the cornerback room in terms of like how old these guys are. You've got Christian Benford in his 2nd year. You got Kaiir Elam in his 2nd year. You got Dane Jackson in his 3rd year, right? You got young corners. These are young corners, man. Trey White was the only veteran guy that you had in it. Now you bring in Josh Norman, obviously. So for veteran ability, for guys, you know what I mean, that's been around this game. So Rasul Douglas not only comes in at 28, but like he's been in the game since 2017. So now he comes in as a leader in this locker room. He comes in as a strong vocal piece in this locker room. And now you got young bucks that'll look up to him and see what's good. So this is a win-win situation for these Bills. Brandon B did a good job of not selling the farm, and he did a good job of getting what we needed. getting what we needed. So this is great. And great point here, right? Jeff King comes in and says he's the same age as Trey, same draft class and everything. So this is why it was an integrity. It was hurtful for when Trey White was out. When Trey White was put out of this game this season, you lost a vocal leader. You lost a veteran guy in the locker room. So now you just have a whole bunch of young guys that are just trying to learn this thing on the fly, right? Yes, we have Jordan Poyer. Yes, we have obviously Micah Hyde. We have some guys. We have Teron Johnson has been in the game some time now. But these young corners are impressionable, and you got to put some guys around them so they know how to practice. They know how to, read these defenses, and now you get a different perspective. Now, the cool part in this edition of Rasul Douglas is Rasul Douglas. I guess he got lit up when we played I think we played the Packers. What, last year? We played the Packers last year. Obviously, we came out and won that game. But my man Josh Allen and Douglas were kind of going at it back and forth, and Josh Allen was talking his big junk, right? And lo and behold, they're on the same team now. So I'm sure they'll be men, and I don't even think they remember it. It's people like us that make them remind them of the film and say, hey, remember Josh when you talk shit to Rasul Douglas and you were saying that he sucks? Now he's on your team. What are you guys gonna talk about? What are you guys gonna do? Josh is like, yo, I don't even remember that. Rasul's like, seriously, guys, are you doing that? And that's just what it is, right? But that's football, man. You talk your shit. You know what I'm saying? Talk big shit, drop your nuts on his forehead, and that's what we do. And in this case, they're going to have to just, work things out and make each other better. Iron sharpens iron, right? And another voice of the Packers came in and had these glowing remarks about Rasul Douglas. Check this out.
$11.6 million cap hit next season. So trying to reshape that roster, trying to reshape that salary cap, and this is part of that process. And it sucks from the sense of 2023 because, as we have discussed here many times over the course of this losing streak, he's one of the few players out there who looks like he gives a damn every Sunday. I get he's not the greatest corner. I get he's not a shutdown guy, but he plays with passion, and he plays with physicality, and he brings it every single down. Buffalo's getting a real one here. And I get why Buffalo's going after him. They need corner help, and it's funny to think back to that game in Buffalo last year where both Jair and Rasul got into some heated moments with the Buffalo Bills wide receiving core. Going to be teammates now, so that'll be fun.
And there you have it, right? So that's one of the main podcasters for the Packers, and he came in and was like, "This man, it's going to be fun. It's competitive nature." And here's the thing, man. Rasul's not coming in and coming in just to be just another guy in this thing, man. He's coming to be a difference maker. We were hurting at that position. We were absolutely hurting in that position, and I believe that we've not only put a Band-Aid, but we're going to be competitive. We're definitely going to be competitive. So salute to the Bills. Salute to my man Brandon Beane making things happen. And he brought in competitive juices. And he brought in a corner that's going to help us get to where we need to get to, because we've got a gauntlet of receivers that we're going to face coming up. I mean, we faced the Bengals with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I know people want to talk about T. Higgins is not having the year that he should be having. Well, there's a lot of teams that are not having the year they should be having, right? But T. Higgins is a talent nonetheless. So we got T. Higgins coming up, and then we got Jerry Jeudy after that. I mean, listen, I'm saying Jerry Jeudy, but the Broncos are the Broncos. And then we got the Jets with Wilson. Garrett Wilson is playing out of his mind right now. He's nice like that. And then we got the Eagles following that with Devontae Smith is a monster, and then A.J. Brown is just an absolute beast right now. Like, he's giving us problems year in, year out every time we play the Titans. So he's going to be a problem. So we need that physicality. We need the guy that's got the cognitive, skill set, the cognitive ability to know where he's supposed to be, what he's supposed to be, and to take on this new roster, take on this new playbook. So a lot is going to come down to how we prepare. Nonetheless, we got ourselves a big dog. So Rasul Douglas, welcome to the Bills, 6'2", 209, and he's going to be a big piece to this defense, man. So hopefully this system fits him to a T, and we get these things cracking. So let me take a little break, and if you guys are ready to get onto your underdog, I don't know how your fantasy team is doing right now. Jump in there And if you know what's good for you, always bet and always choose Josh Allen on anything he's doing. We'll be right back.
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. In the Pick'em game, you can pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in that week's game for a chance to win big. And as you already know, I'm going Josh Allen higher in yards every single week. So sign up today with promo code Buffalo Fanatics and get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Visit underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with promo code Buffalo Fanatics to get your first deposit doubled up to $100.
Buffalo Fanatics is the code. And before we jump back into trade talk, I mean, the wifey wanted to come down and say what's up. You know how it is. I gotta get her in the camera shot here. She wants to say what's up to the folks.
Happy Halloween.
Listen, this is crazy because she's all about the Halloween, and I am not.
Somebody has to be.
We have kids and stuff like that, but like when you grew up in a hardcore Christian home and you were not allowed to do trick or treating and Halloween and all that stuff, so I never really grew up doing that, man. So now we know, you know what I mean? We these kids, boy, they're trying to go get candy and all that stuff. I just give the candy out the door. But wifey's been listening to us talk about these Bills, and she's been listening to us talk about these upcoming games against the Bengals. Kim Betts says hi, by the way. Everybody says hi. Everybody's talking about, yo, your wife is fine. I mean, what the hell did you guys think? You think I was just gonna come get with some scrub? Heck no. That's not how we play. We don't play like that. Jeff King knows what's good. Oh, anyway. What I used to be. Oh, stop. So this one went trick-or-treating with the kids. And
I don't know how people do that sober.
I don't know. I don't know about you guys, man. Somebody says your hair look.
I took the whole damn community. I didn't just go with our children. I had like 8. I was 8 kids deep in this trick or treating.
She did. She took all the kids, and I stayed home. I stayed home with the little man, and we gave out candy. But this one over here, I don't know what it is, man. Like back in the day when like y'all used to go trick or treating. I mean, I did it. I'm not gonna cap. There was times where I went out a couple times. I just had to like, yo, Mom, go to my friend's house, trick or treat, right? But it was never this brick cold, man. It was always enjoyable weather.
No, it's cold today.
It was always enjoyable weather. The last 10 years, 10, 15 years, like, yo, it's been brick cold going trick-or-treating. People can't even dress up. They in winter jackets and winter coats, all that good stuff, man.
You weren't even out there.
I see it.
Door and you put candy in a bag and then close it.
But I see.
Rolled around the whole damn neighborhood after kids. It was.
I get it. Now,
it was brutal.
Wifey just wanted to come say hi, but she knows that we have a big
go Bengals.
Go Bengals, you crazy.
Go Bills.
She knows that we have a big old game coming up. And I always ask to see what her thoughts are. And I got a reminder who we're playing. We're playing Joe Burrow. We're playing Jamar Chase, Trey Hendrickson. So we got some dogs. They got some dogs on that squad, but we got some dogs on our squad too. So do you feel good?
Gonna win.
So you feel we're gonna win?
We're gonna win.
Okay, wifey says we're gonna win.
That is gonna be.
You're coming with a score prediction? I wasn't gonna put you on the spot like that. Go ahead.
23-17.
23-17. I like it. So it's gonna be a big defensive game. Is there Josh Allen goes off, or Diggs goes off, or defense goes off? Defense goes off.
Yeah. We're gonna see.
We're gonna see. Well, it's a Sunday night game, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a big one. Before you get out of here, wifey,
so ready for
let
bed.
your people know what your boy was up to the other day. Yes, right.
I'm so proud of you.
So
did you guys catch him on there? Do you know how exciting that is for me as like your wife to know that like when we first started doing this, we were like 20 people were watching. We're like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like that's magical. There were like
know.
30
They don't know.
people watching.
They don't know what you're talking
now
about.
we're like, people are rolling with us all the time for this long. And then it's like Bleacher Report hits you up and they're like, hey, you want to do a segment? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy.
So wifey's just saying what she's saying is that we have an opportunity.
That's awesome.
So your boy got hit up and doing some content for Bleacher Report. So I mean, it starts small, one episode here, one episode there, but we're doing it. And wifey just wanted to come up and say what's up and show some love. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's it for me. That's it for you. I mean, listen, I gotta keep talking. I gotta keep talking these Bills talk. So, do you have any last words before we get out of here?
Yeah, check your boy out again on the Bleacher Report in November.
Well, there you have it, folks.
And it's
There
your
you have
birthday
it.
month.
And it's my birthday month, and your boy's turning. How old do you guys think I am? If I even tell you guys, could I tell you if I told you I was 27, would you guys believe it?
No.
If I told you I was 57, would you guys believe it? Black don't crack, man. Sometimes people just don't know. You don't know. Sometimes you just don't know. But anyway,
Nah, he's 43.
yeah. If I'm 43, maybe I'm 43, maybe I'm 47, maybe I'm 26,
Nah.
maybe I'm 30. Anyway, it is matter. But appreciate you, wifey.
Love you.
We gonna chop it up.
Bye,
And-
fam. Happy Halloween. I'm exhausted. I'm going to bed.
She had all the kiddos.
Never again.
That's it.
Next year, it'll be your fault.
Yeah, man. So yeah, my man Wayman got it. Wayman Brown. We turning 39, baby.
39.
We turning 39 in this beat.
And I robbed the cradle. Hey.
She robbed the cradle. She's three months older than I am. Crazy ass.
Respect your elders.
Anyway, let's get back to football. I wanted to take a small break, and get right back into it. So, folks, this Rasul Douglas move and news is huge. I think it's massive. I think it's needed. Now, here's another angle to look at this, because in comes Rasul Douglas. There was news potentially that Kaiir Elam was going to be the one that we moved on from, right? There were teams interested in Kaiir Elam, and Kaiir Elam is still on the squad. So my question to you in the chat, was this a win for Kaiir Elam that he did not get moved, he did not get traded? And how are you guys feeling on the fact that we retained him and we didn't move on from him? I'm gonna tell you this, man. I was conflicted with this because everything said that everything was written on the wall that this guy's out of here. He's gone, right? Inactive. They bring in Josh Norman. Like, it just, none of it looked good. The optics were just awful. Like, this means that you were definitely going to be moving this guy. We're definitely going to be moving him. But then we don't. So then part of me believes that only 2 years in, because like his rookie year, his rookie campaign wasn't that bad. His rookie campaign wasn't that bad. He had two or three interceptions last year. Kaiir Elam did, and he had a game. You know what I'm saying, a game affecting interception against the Dolphins. Like, he wasn't that bad as a player in his rookie year. It's just something. Maybe he's overthinking things. Who knows? Because we know physically, he's got all of the attributes and the tools to be a solid corner. He does, an elite corner at that. But I'm sitting here, and I'm pontificating. Why did we keep him? What made Bean keep him? And I got 2 words for you: Wyatt Teller. I got another 2 words: Cody Ford. Right? So 2 players that were, one player that was drafted high didn't work out, Cody Ford, and we've moved on from him. And I don't think that Bean loses sleep over that. But Wyatt Teller, on the other hand, I think he loses a lot of sleep on that. And he gave up on Wyatt Teller too soon. Now, Wyatt Teller also turned into Mount Milano. So how could you be upset when you turned in an all-pro linebacker? But nonetheless, Wyatt Teller is doing extremely well for himself. So I know that's got to be sitting with Brandon Bean in the regards of, how could I sit there with myself and give up on Kaiir Elam after 2 years? And maybe we just haven't developed him enough, or maybe he's still trying to figure things out, or maybe he needs to be around, right? Maybe he needs to be around more veteran guys. Maybe a Rasul Douglas will be great for him, right? In that locker room, in the film room, all those things, right? And it's not like Kaiir is not a willing individual to learn. You saw it rookie year. Give me that playbook. I want that playbook. Put that playbook on that. So it's not like he's not in his playbook. It's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. I think it's all up here. So maybe it's just one of those things where you just need more time in the system, more time around others. And Brandon Bean says, I ain't giving up on you. I can't give up on you. And we're going to make sure that we get the most out of you. Now, it's not to say that they weren't shopping them, because you've got to look at, okay, what makes sense and what doesn't. If a team came in and says, yo, I'll give you a second round for him, I don't think Brandon Beane's even blinking. He's like, all right, I can live with that. But if a team comes in and says, I'll give you a 6th, I'll give you a 7th for him. There's no way that Brandon Beane's going to sit here and say, yeah, because then we'll trash Brandon Beane even more. You drafted a first-round corner. You gave him up for 6th after 2 years. We'd be all over Brandon Beane, would we not? I know I would. So it's better for Brandon Beane to save face and say, you know what, maybe, just maybe, I'm going to hold on to this brother. I'm going to hold on to this brother. I'm going to make sure that I give him the most help, the most, you know what I'm saying, I guess, time, and make sure that I honestly see this through. And if it doesn't work out, and I gave him my 3 years, and I tried to make this work, all right, and then potentially next off season, potentially, you know me, before trade deadline, we make something happen. It's just that simple. So to me, it's a win for Kaiir Elam. And Kaiir Elam has to look at it like, okay, that was close. I almost got moved. Now, whether he wanted this thing to happen or not, whether maybe he feels like he's in the right scheme, right team, but you got to look at it like this is another opportunity. This is another chance for Kaiir Elam. And I mean, listen, Kaiir Elam, he can be a solid player. He could definitely be a solid player. I mean, last year he had 2 interceptions, started 6 games and played 13 of them, right? And he had 2 picks. He had 4 batted balls down, and he had 41? He had 41 tackles and a tackle for a loss. So there were some moments that he looked like the guy that we needed him to be. But right now, I think it's all in his head, coupled with lack of confidence, and a lot of those things are playing out. And you can't. It's very difficult to try to gain confidence while you're sitting on the practice squad. Yeah, now you're being the team's scouts. I mean, you're playing scout team. It's hard. It's hard, man. And even guys that were talking about when he was in college, they didn't realize. I mean, I've seen people talk about like, yo, he was nice, but I don't know if he was first round nice. He was like a second round guy, maybe third. But the fact that they took him in the first, Bills panicked. They needed something to happen. They needed something at cornerback, and that's what happens when you panic and you grab someone that just because it's that position that you need. They drafted for need, but they drafted way too high. They had Breece Hall right in their grasp, and they said, "Nah, man, F Breece Hall. We got this guy, right?" So that being said, big opportunity for Kaiir Elam. I think it's a win for Kaiir Elam that he did not get traded. He's still with the Bills, and he's got an opportunity to really say, holy crap, I almost got traded. All right, I got to buckle down. And it starts in practice, starts, you know, just showing us what you got, but it might be too little too late, because you got practice squad Josh Norman made a bit of a splash on special teams last week, and now they just brought in Rasul Douglas. So it's Rasul, Teron Johnson, Benford, and now you've got Dane Jackson. So maybe you can come in and be that fourth. But I mean, you got Cam Lewis. Cam Lewis is getting reps. So like, fam, like, we got to find a way. And most times you think guys will come in and try to make something happen on special teams. You mean to tell me you're not making enough on special teams to warrant being active? Something doesn't fly. So very interesting that we hold him, but I think that's a win for Kaiir, and he's got to take full advantage of it. That's the only way I see it. So Rasul Douglas, welcome to the Bills. I think it's huge. Packers fans are kind of not too pleased about it, but they're going in a different direction. I mean, they also have 2 corners that are top notch. So Rasul Douglas really was the third corner, but he was playing as a second corner because of injuries. So maybe things have changed, and the Bills said, "Yo, we got to pull the trigger." Now, the Bills, on the other hand, were all in. I can't say all in, but they were in on Jalen Johnson, the corner from the Bears. Problem was, the Bears were asking way too much. It was too rich for the blood of Brandon Beane. So Brandon Beane's like, as much as I want that player, I can't do it. I just can't do it. So that being said, there is Rasul Douglas to the Bills. I think it's a great addition. And the real question is, how long will it take before he starts to establish himself on this field? How long is it going to take before we know what we get out of Mr. Rasul Douglas? And Rasul Douglas he ain't no scrub, man. Rasul Douglas right now, he's Mr. Clutch, because 6 interceptions in fourth quarter or overtime since 2021. That's most among all cornerbacks. Fam, we got ourselves a clutch corner. So in the fourth quarter, when we need to stop, fourth quarter, when we need to, take something away, Rasul Douglas comes in and says, hey, man, I got you. I got you. So that's our guy, Rasul Douglas, coming to the Bills. And he's big time, man. He's big time. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing what we got out of him. And once again, Rasul Douglas coming to the Bills. We get the Bills get a 5th round pick, and we get $838,000 on the books. Very cheap for a player like Rasul Douglas. Next year, we're gonna have to deal with it. And the Packers get their 3rd round, and they save some money at the same time. So kudos to the Bills. Y'all did it. Y'all brought your mans on, and we're gonna be competitive. We're gonna try to be competitive because we got a big matchup coming up against the Bengals. Now, we weren't done, folks. The Bills were not done. The Bills went out inside playoff Lenny. Ladies and gentlemen, Leonard Fournette. We were flirting with Leonard Fournette just a few weeks ago, just a short few weeks ago, and then they scratched it and said, nah, we're going to go with Ty Johnson. I don't know what has changed. I don't know what changed between them flirting with my man Leonard Fournette and then saying, we're good. We're going to go with Ty Johnson. And now Ty Johnson is probably going to be obviously relegated back to practice squad, and Leonard Fournette is now signed as the 2A running back. So now this is fascinating because you bring in. See, this is how you know we're broke. This is how you know that we don't have the funds, we don't have the money, because we brought in Damien Harris. Damien Harris gets concussed and gets a stinger in his neck, and then now he's out. He's out for what, 4 weeks? So now we got to make a decision. Do we keep Latavius Murray and do we keep rolling with James Cook, or do we bring somebody else in? We brought in Ty Johnson. They said, Ty Johnson cool, but we need someone with a little more. So guess what? Playoff Lenny comes in. And if you guys remember Leonard Fournette coming out of college, this guy was a beast. This guy was that dude. I remember there's only, you have to know this play because it was, I thought he killed the man. Leonard Fournette was coming off the sideline, just bending around the corner, and a cornerback decided to go, you know what? You and I, mano a mano, let's see. And you got Leonard Fournette at 225, 230, coming in with a full head of speed. I thought he killed that brother, man. I thought he absolutely killed that brother. So Leonard Fournette gets drafted to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then obviously he went to Tampa. Here's the thing, man. He's a big back. He catches out of the backfield. He can go between the tackles. He's a solid back. Challenge is he's a little older. He's a little long in the tooth. He's not as quick. He's not as fast as he used to be. But neither is Latavius Murray. But Latavius Murray has been taking full advantage of his opportunities. But maybe by looking at last week's games, we were not able to muster anything. I mean, if you look back, we had multiple 3rd and 2 situations, and we just couldn't punch it. We could not punch it. We couldn't get the job done. And that is what I think has made the Bills decide, you know what? Let's get someone that has experience, and let's get someone that that wants to play. Let's get someone that can do good things on the squad. And let me tell you something. We have Rasul Douglas that was beefing a little bit with Josh Allen, so that'll be something they're going to mend, and I'm sure they're going to mend that very quickly. And then we have playoff Lenny with Shaq Lawson going at it and jawing at each other. And you thought these brothers wanted to, go Francis Ngannou / Tyson Fury and just go at it, right? And by the way, Tyson Fury lost that fight. I'm just going to put it out there. Francis Ngannou came at his ass, and he should have won. He got robbed, and I stand on that. But anyways, and I like Tyson Fury, by the way. I'm a big fan of Tyson Fury. So Francis Ngannou, I think he just gave up on it. We're done with MMA. We straight going boxing now because that's where the money's at. But anyway, let me bring it back. Let me bring it back a little bit. Leonard Fournette coming through. What's he bring to the table? What's he bringing to the Bills? Like, what's he bringing to the Bills that we weren't getting from Latavius Murray? Because that's the question. That's what you want to be able to decipher, and you want to be able to say, okay, so like, well, why did we bring him on? Like, what was the reasoning? What's the point behind this? Well, we're down Damien Harris. If you go down Latavius Murray, now we got no beef. You're going to expect James Cook to run between the tackles and get us a tough yardage? Folks, we both know that ain't going to happen. We both know that. We both know that. So Leonard Fournette coming to the Bills. He ain't 225 now, I'll tell you that much. He definitely ain't 225. He's probably pushing 240 now. Hopefully he's not 240. We need him a little bit. We need him to be a little spry, a little limber coming onto this squad. But I think that gives us an identity in the run game that when Leonard Fournette is in, you know what I'm saying, we're going to pound the rock. When Leonard Fournette is in, not only are we going to pound the rock, we've got an ability to kind of protect our quarterback, right? When Leonard Fournette is in, we've got a guy that can catch out of the backfield. Now, Latavius Murray gave you the same thing. But here's the deal. Latavius Murray is 33. And part of being 33, you kind of saw, you know what I'm saying, age 33 show on Latavius Murray. So maybe we need a little something more, a little more sleek, a little something more, a little nimble, a little more hungrier with a younger guy. I think Leonard Fournette is 28 years of age. So he joins the squad, and I think he brings a lot to the table. And I want him to actually get reps immediately. Let's not bring him on and ease him in, put some packages together for him. Hey, I need your pass block here. Hey, we're going, you know what I mean? We're going to dive. It's going to be a dive play. It's going to be RPO. It's going to be whatever. He'll be able to, he's got a mini bye to put some things together. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying? Like we can actually gain the services of Leonard Fournette once he shows up on this Bill squad. I mean, listen, if you look at the career of Leonard Fournette, his rookie year, played 13 games, had 1,000 yards rushing, right? It was averaging just shy of 4 yards a pop. Obviously, his second year, he slowed down a little bit. Then he exploded in his third year. He had 1,100 yards and was over 4 yards a pop. He had 3 touchdowns, but he was the bell cat, 265 carries. Then when he went to Tampa, obviously his role was reduced just a tad, but his best year came in 2021. And that was their Super Bowl year, right? So 2021, playoff Lenny emerged. And that's when, he was that dude. He had 800 yards rushing that year, and he had 8 touchdowns. So he'll be a role player, a nice role player for these Bills. And when we need the tough yardage, when we need, to give a different look on this team, he will give us that. He will spark that for us. And he's not one that fumbles often. I mean, the last time he fumbled was his rookie year. He had 2 fumbles his rookie year and hasn't fumbled since. So he's not a liability. He's not going to give up the football. He ain't going to cough it up. And you can actually count on him. And the great thing about Leonard Fournette is not only can he run the football, but he can catch the football. He's got 2,000 yards receiving his career, right? And his biggest, I guess the most he's had was 2019. He had 500 yards receiving. And then in 2019, he had 500 receiving yards. And then in 2022, he had another 500 receiving yards with an additional 3 touchdowns. So definitely can count on that, brother. So it's just a matter of how they utilize him, when they utilize him, and where, right? Is he a goal line guy? Is he just going to be a red zone guy? Can you trust him to? I mean, yes, you can. So now that's going to be on Josh Allen, and that's going to be on our offensive coordinator, Mr. Ken Dorsey. That's what it's going to come down to, folks. So Leonard Fournette joining the squad is huge. I think we're piecing things together as best we can, right? We're limited on the funds. You know what I'm saying? We're one swipe away from the old debit card to saying insufficient funds. We don't want to be in that position, right? That's why we had to restructure the deal for Dion Dawkins. We had to restructure that, brother, because we broke. You know what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that we are spending money wisely, but gaining some valuable pieces. And it helps that you're a winning team. Ain't nobody trying to come to a team that's not going to pay and you suck. You can't be both. You can't be cheap and you can't blow. And for the years, that's what the Bills were. When we had, obviously, after the 90s, when we had Ralph, we sucked and we were paying. So that's a terrible combination. That's when, Doug Whaley came in and was like, we gotta change that mindset. We gotta let people know that we will pay. We will bring players on. And then when we brought in, I'm getting a mind. My mind is not there. But when we brought in Williams, we had to pay that brother freaking $100 million. And I was like, that was unheard of. I was like, whoa, we about to pay this. We paying this guy $100 million? Golly, but worth every damn penny because we had to. We had to. You know what I mean? So that being said, we've got bargain bin bean, man. Bargain bin bean. We've got to do what we got to do. And we're getting there, man. We're getting there. So keep this in mind, folks. This defense, although banged up, we've done a decent job. We've done a decent job to try to give the football back to the offense. You know what I'm saying? Keeping teams, you know what I'm saying, under like 20 points, 21 points. We're trying to, right? So it's going to be up to the offense to now take over, healthy as you are, and put some points on the board. And we've got a big one coming up, you know what I'm saying, this Sunday night. And I'm going to preview it more. And I got content creators that are going to join me. I'm hoping to get these guys to come on Friday. If you guys remember, we had the Bengals game last year, and I had the Cincinnati podcast. I had my man Ace Boogie and Zim, and these boys came in, and we had good back and forth, good conversation. So I hope to have these guys back on to kind of give us an idea of what we're going to be facing with these Bengals, man. These Bengals are surging now. This is not the old Bengals. The old Bengals that were just finding themselves, and Joe Burrow trying to get healthy again. It looks like Joe Burrow is back to being Joe Burrow, right? Joe Burrow is doing, you know what I mean, quarterback draws and going up the middle and stuff. So, if he's planting and going, these boys are going to be rolling. So we just got to, you know what I mean, do what we have to do on the defensive side of the ball, control ourselves on the offensive side of the ball, control the ball, stay on it, don't give them the opportunities. I mean, we're going to go through it, but it's big, man. It's huge. And those are the big things that you gotta pay attention to. By the way, you gotta pay attention to those things. And once we do get to that mode and talking about these Bengals, we'll share a lot more information, and we'll go from there. So, around the league, folks, around the league, we weren't the only ones making trades. We weren't the only one dropping. You know what I'm saying, dropping information. Let me see if I brought that in here. Did I do that? Shame on me. I didn't even do that. But it's all good. So, what moves were made around the league, and what surprised you? I'm going to be real right now, man. These 49ers are pissing me off, man. These 49ers are pissing me off. You got Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk. I don't even know how y'all got Brandon Ayuk, right? Obviously, Debo's on the squad. You got Jared, you got Kittle. You got some good. You got Trent Williams on this. Like, y'all got some good pieces on that. And then you come in and you get Chase Young for a 3rd-round pick. And most people might say, and my man Rio's he's a Commanders fan, and he goes, fam, Chase Young hasn't been doing what we need him to do for the hype that he gets from his name and to what kind of deal he's trying to get. But these 49ers piss me off. They got Chase Young, Hargrove, I think it's Hargrave. Obviously, you got Bosa, and you got Eric Armstead. That's like, you got all 1st-round picks on that defensive front. Like, my goodness, man. That's craziness. And that defense is pretty damn good. Now, hear me out now. They're on a 2-game losing streak right now? 3 games? Is it 2 or 3? I can't recall. So this is tough. This is 3 games. I think this is 3-game losing streak. So they're right now trying to find themselves. And Brock Purdy, I know people were trying to big up Brock Purdy, but Brock Purdy, my goodness, man, you went from I don't turn the ball over to now you turn the ball over like crazy. You're on a 3-game losing streak, fam. They need to get it together. So, I mean, this is the beauty of the NFL. The NFL is you just never know what you're going to get in the NFL, and parity is at its highest. And that's when the league is good, when you don't know who's who and what's what. Like the Eagles they barely beat the damn Commanders, right? But then they walked all over the damn Dolphins. So it's like this. It's weird, man. This league is weird. So Chase Young goes to San Francisco. Here's the tally of the trades that's gone on. Not just today, but just before the trade deadline. Chase Young to San Francisco. Montez Sweat. The Commanders were not done. They sent Montez Sweat, which it makes no sense to me. Montez Sweat to the Bears. The Bears are not even competing right now. The Bears are ass. They're not good. But Montez Sweat goes to Chi-Town. He's going to be good. But like, I don't know about that. It's very odd. But I mean, Montez Sweat to Chicago, Leonard Williams to Seattle. The Joe Schoen traded Leonard Williams to Seattle for some draft picks. Here's another nugget for you guys to know about Joe Schoen, right? So Joe Schoen right now, listen, let me get on the Giants for a bit. The Giants right now are dead last. They're dead last in offensive statistics. They're dead last in yards. They're dead last in points. And what was the other one? They're dead last. They're 32nd ranked. I got to go look at it. They're dead last in points. They're dead last. Give me a second. Let me just pull that up, because that is absolutely unacceptable. Brian Dable's got to be losing his ish. He has to be, because that is absolutely unacceptable. Check this out. Brian Dable. Where my man Brian Dable at? I had it here and then I just lost it. Where's Dabes? Good old Dabes. Where you at, Dabes? Can't see where Dabes is at. All right, Joe, and I got to tell you about Joe Schoen at the same time too. All right, check this out. The Giants right now, their points per game, 32nd. Yards per game, 32nd. And yards per play, 32nd. Golly. Brian Dable has to be losing his mind. And the one piece that was starting to give them a little bit of hope, the one piece that was starting to give them a little bit of semblance that, okay, they're doing something, was Tyrod Taylor. And Tyrod Taylor broke his ribs by falling on a football. The guy is the most unlucky guy that you'll meet. Super unlucky. But he broke his ribs. So he's out. So now you got freaking DeVito. You got freaking DeVito that just wouldn't throw a football, -8 yards, just a hot mess. And they just signed that brother anyway. And Daniel Jones is coming back. Not that it's any better. But Brian Dable has to be he's got to be pissed. Now, here's the worst part. Joe Schoen, which is their GM, which was the assistant GM for the Bills the last several years, he had a trade in for Adoree Jackson. I don't know how true this is, but this is what's out there. But he had a trade set for Adoree Jackson to come to the Giants. They didn't get the trade down. They didn't get the trade down in time. So the trade gets nullified. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine you feel like your team is one piece away, or you're one piece away from getting fired, or one piece away from whatever, and you're about to get this thing and you don't put it in time? Something happened. Oof, that's gotta hurt. That one hurts. That one hurts tremendously. So the Giants are a hot mess. Nothing you can do about them. It's just one of those. It's just bad. It is just bad, right? So let's keep talking about these trades that took place. So Leonard Williams, Seattle. Kevin Byard going to Philly. I hate Philly too, man. Philly got Julio Jones. Then Philly got obviously they got Kevin Byard. Like, fam, like, how they're able to do these things, it just pisses me off, right? So when we play them, we better come in and just wax that completely. By the way, Roger Saffold, thank you, Twins24. Roger Saffold is going to the Jets. So our guys are going to have a lot of fun with that one, because they just said, we just bolstered the line in the Jets. You bolstered. The word bolstered tells me that's positive. Ain't no anything positive about Roger Saffold going to the Jets. So good on y'all. Y'all brought Roger Saffold in. You gonna get it. Anyway, that's another ball game for another time. Ezra Cleveland to Jacksonville. Joshua Dobbs to Minnesota. Now, this is an interesting topic, because Joshua Dobbs, extremely, extremely intelligent. To the point, what does he do? What did he go to school for? Josh Dobbs, I forgot what he does. He is a rocket scientist, for crying out loud, right? He's an aerospace engineer, right? He graduated from Tennessee, in the aerospace engineer program with a 4.0 GPA, and was honored in 2017 with the Torchbearer Award. And that's for your highest graduate honors. My gosh. Anyway, I bring this up because obviously Josh Dobbs was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then and super smart. He's known to be super smart. I mean, obviously can retain information. So this brother gets traded to the Cardinals. Cardinals like, yo, we need you. So he comes in and has the Cardinals playing well. he took on that playbook, and obviously he had a little bit of information on that playbook. So because he's familiar with the OC, but he came in and had these guys competitive. So this brother gets traded again, but this time to Minnesota. And they trade for him. Why? It's indicative of how intelligent this man is and how he can retain information. He gets traded to Minnesota. Now he's going to become Minnesota's starting quarterback in the next couple of weeks because they got Darren, whoever is going to be Jerron something is going to be taking over at quarterback for the Bears. Excuse me, not the Bears, the Minnesota Vikings. In the meantime, Josh Dobbs will take over. For Josh Dobbs, yo, kudos to you. It sucks to be moved all over the place, but you're being moved all over the place because you can perform under pressure and without knowing a whole lot of information. So you can just kind of wing it, if you will, knowing the skeleton of an offense. So good on Josh Dobbs being able to get him be employed, but he's got to move. Anyway, to kind of finish off what we got here, Josh Dobbs to Minnesota, Donovan Peoples-Jones gets traded to Detroit, which is very interesting because Jameson Williams is supposed to be the guy that's supposed to stretch the field, and he hasn't done diddly squat. And how I know that is because I drafted his ass and put him in, stashed him on my damn fantasy team, and hasn't done a damn thing. Waiting on that. Obviously, Rasul Douglas to the Bills, Kentavious Street to Atlanta, McCole Harmon went back to KC, Randy Gregory to San Francisco. There's another piece that went to San Fran, and you wonder why the defense should be rocking right now. And J.C. Jackson back to New England, Chase Claypool in Miami, Van Jefferson to Atlanta. That was a quiet trade, and then Cam Akers obviously to Minnesota. So that rounds out your trades for the 2023 season. So here's my question for y'all regarding this trade, the trade deadline, and regarding everything. Are you guys confident in what Brandon Beane was able to bring to the table when it comes to Rasul Douglas? And in the comment section, just do me a favor. From A to D. I know ain't no F, so nobody's going to put an F. So grade it from, is it an A plus? Is it an A minus, B plus, B minus? You guys let me know all the way down to C. Let me know what your thoughts are on this trade that the Bills acquired Rasul Douglas. How do you guys feel about that? And that being said, and here's the funny thing, man. This guy was minding his own business today. He was driving, listening to R&B, and I love it. I think he was listening to Case. But anyway, I could be wrong. Or maybe, what was it? Was it Case? Anyway, he was minding his own business, driving down, and I guess he was filming himself going live, and traded. Just like that. All in Green Bay gear, like nothing. He's like, I ain't going to trade it. I'm the third corner. I'm just holding it down until they come back and tell me, okay, I'm relegated back to depth piece. And now I'm going to Buffalo. Here's the beautiful thing. He goes from one cold climate area to another. So he going to fit in just fine. So I'm big on that. I'm super big on that. So that being said, folks, if you guys, I got a recent super chat. Actually, I got a super chat coming in from my man Max. Says, even Tom Grossi was shocked Rasul was traded away. And Tom Grossi, I like Tom. I've been following Tom for like about a year now. I think he's comical. And he's not one that gets shocked too quickly, but this one got him. This one definitely got him. Scott Blakely, what's up, Scott? Scotty Blakely been a member for 47 months. Salute to you, Scott. And by the way, for those that are trying to become a member of the Buffalo Fanatics and trying to become a member of the Bing Squad, it's really simple. Supportbf.com. Jump on in there. All your tiers are there and what you get. And looking forward to seeing you guys, man, for real. Scott Blakely comes in and says, oh, how you have grown. Well-deserved, Rico. Best of the best family event for me and my man. My girls love your content. I appreciate you, Scott. Really do. And what Scott is talking about is that I got an opportunity to stream for Bleacher Report, and it's probably not the last of it. I'll probably try to get on there as much as possible. I told him, man, yo, just give me one shot. We'll crush it. You just wait. So we go get up there, folks. So to kind of put a button on this. And I'm looking at the grades that most of y'all are giving. I see B's. I got a B from here. My man Corey Buffalo says a B. I got Bills fan 1970 says a B. Good zone guy. He's a B. C plus coming from my man Brian Lucio. Lucio says, yo, Namdi says, hey, that's an A. I'm giving that pick an A. A B for my man Grant Walker. Keith Stewart comes in with a B plus. Kim Betts says, you know what? That's a good grade. I'm a B. I'll give him a B and we'll call it a day. And C plus coming in from Dave H. Greenlight Channel says A. Give it an A, man. That's what I'm talking about. All right, bet. What about, Tyler, listen, I see a lot of it. B, Tyler McDonald is saying that. B+. Dogma says an A. Listen, you guys, it seems that you guys are liking this trade. I see a couple C's. Kevin Harrison says this C. I see no D, so everybody's pretty much on board with this trade. All right. How do you guys feel about, and give me the grade and how you guys feel about this, but playoff Lenny coming to Buffalo. Do you guys like this move? Is it necessary? You guys feel like, man, we didn't have to do that. We have Latavius Murray. It's not, we don't need that. We need help on defense. Well, listen, man, we kind of nailed it both because we needed a corner. We needed some depth at corner. We created depth by bringing back Dane Jackson, and he'll probably be relegated to depth. Then we got Kaiir Elam. That's just, just marinating, I suppose, and waiting and ready for his opportunity. He got his opportunity this year, but maybe just wasn't ready. He's a little, slow to react on certain things, and he's still holding. He's still doing, you know what it is sometimes? It's not about making mistakes. And you guys have heard this from your coaches. You guys have heard it from your teachers. And as a parent, you probably have heard it from your parent, or you're the parent, passing along this message. And it's not about making the mistakes. It's not about making the error, right? What's the next line I'm going to tell you? If you guys have been in this position where you've received this information or you're the one giving the information, but it's not about the error that one makes, right? It's not about the mistake. It's not about the blunder, but it's what? It's about don't make the same blunder, mistake, and error again, right? You got to learn from them. And if you're learning from them, I have no problems with you messing up. You can go and wet the bed. But if I tell you, hey, man, that's not what we want, man. You got to get your act together and fix this and fix that. And if I see that there's some kind of that you've caught on and you learning from the mistakes that you've made, then I have more trust in you to say, okay, he gets it. He's just going to do less and less and less of those as we go. Am I going to expect him to be perfect? No. But I expect less of those errors so I can actually have trust in him so I can keep him on the field. But it turns out, or it seems as though, Kaiir just keeps making the same errors every time, which tells me he's not learning. Or he thinks he's got it, but he doesn't got it, but he's not admitting what his issue is. Who knows what it is? I'm only speculating at this point. But at the end of the day, big picture is you got to learn from your errors so you don't commit the same errors afterwards, and tells me that you're growing. So now when teams face you, they know that you made that grave error and they're going to try it again. And if I can get you every single time on that grave error, you become now a liability. And every team loves to seek out the liability on the defense. As an offensive mind, as an offensive player, I'm looking for the liability. I'm looking for the guy that is the problem. I'm looking for the weak link. And right now, Kaiir Elam has relegated himself as the weak link because you keep making the same errors. You're in zone coverage. You got to mask the zone as much as you can before you can, because you don't want to tell them what you're in. You want to mask it. Before the quarterback can do his, pre-check reads, this guy's already in his back pedal, ready to back up. All right, we know that it's zone now. Here we go. Right? All right, man, it's man-to-man. Okay, he's a grabby guy, so I want you to be shifty. Do what you got to do. Grab, hold, legal hands to the face. All these little things add up to the point where the coach is like, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you again. So now you're going to have to sit. You got to learn from your errors and learn from your mistakes. And here's the thing. This league is an unforgiving league. And that's why I consider this a win. Because if they were so sick of Kaiir, they would have got rid of him. They're like, no, there's no fixing you. We're done. But I think that they still have some trust in him. And it's just he's got to put it together. And thus the reason that they kept him. So this will be interesting. We'll see how this all plays out in the end and how it washes out. But I hope he learns from this. I hope there's ways that he can grow from this situation, because there's no and ifs or buts about it. You got to do it, man. Playoff Lenny. What y'all got for playoff Lenny? Is this a good signing? Do you guys feel this is a good signing? Was it a useless signing? Was there any point to even go that route? Should we have traded for a running back? Were we good where we're at? What is it? Is it an A+ for a playoff Lenny with the Bills? Is it a D-? What the hell do we need? What do we need that brother for? That's a D. Whack. Or are we going to sit right in the middle and say C plus on the positive side? C plus, maybe B minus, or you guys feel it's good? C Rose says that's a good signing, man. I like it. And they're all over it. So we needed a cornerback. He's talking about the Rasul Douglas. I agree. But let me know how y'all feel about this playoff Lenny. I got a Luis Cornelia says he's tough, man. I'm giving a B. That's a B for me. That's a B grading. Solid signing. Ling Lee says it's a solid signing. I'm gonna take that. Damn. Dogma says that's a D for Lenny, man. He's not feeling that D. He's like, yo, we didn't need to. I'm gonna give it a D. Nearly a failing grade, and we're gonna see how they utilize him. But we can't let Dorsey and that offense off the hook. You got to be able to utilize your guys at the end of the day. You really do. So that being said, folks, trade deadline has come and gone. You've seen what we were able to do. We've talked about a little bit of what other teams have done. One thing that's very interesting is that the Dolphins were quiet. The Jets were quiet. I mean, they brought in Saffold, and New England Patriots were quiet. They were in the vending. They were being the vendors. They were trying to shop Josh Uche, and they were also trying to shop potentially, and I don't know if that's true or not, Zeke Elliott. So they were in the position to sell, meaning they were in the position to acquire picks so they can bolster up for next year. And with the Patriots signing Bill Belichick to a quiet, lucrative, long-term deal, he's going to be with the damn Patriots for years to come. At what capacity? Who knows yet? We're not sure. As of right now, he's GM and he's head coach. That's got to change. You can't have this brother as both. It's crazy talk. Absolutely crazy talk. But yeah, none of the AFC East have done anything. So we bolstered the cornerback room. And in my opinion, I think Rasul Douglas should come in right away and be starter. Right off the bat. Don't even think about it. Put him right in there with Christian Benford. And you've got two zone corners, solid zone corners. One that is still learning the game is Rob, but really good, and in Christian Benford. And you have a guy that's been around the same time as Trey White, known primarily for being a corner, a zone corner. So you got to give a shout out. You got to give props to the Bills seeking someone that can come in and provide for this team right off the bat. That's what we need. So we filled the need on the offensive side of the ball. We filled the need on the defensive side of the ball. And we go from there. So if y'all appreciate this show, if you guys appreciate the signings that the Bills have done and the trade acquisitions of Rasul Douglas, smash that like. If you guys are impressed with these Bills and what they're doing and what they're going to do, smash that like. Now, I want to talk about these Bengals. I really do, because I think that's a huge game. And I hate to say it. People are going to be like, oh, of course. But when I picked winning teams and I picked when we went against the Bengals, this is prior to the season starting, do I see us getting a win against the Bengals? I didn't have us winning against the Bengals. I did not have us winning against the Bengals. I have us losing against the Bengals. Now, that's not to say that's my thought process right now, because a lot of things have gone on. However, they looked really good against the San Francisco 49ers. Somebody can't sit there and tell me, oh, it was just the 49ers. They're on a 2-game losing streak, so of course they're not as good as people want to make them seem. That's one argument you can use, but for the most part, that 49ers team is still damn good. Still a damn good team. And the Bengals came in and made them look like it was nothing. They didn't sweat it. So this is a big one. And not only do I have us losing this squad, but like, got to look back at how this thing was going on, man. We lost that first. I mean, when that obviously the Damar Hamlin situation happens, they were moving the ball on us at will. They were moving the ball on us at freaking will. I'm just telling you, man, it's just what it was. I got a comment. Hold on. My man Dogma. What's up, Dogma? Dogma says, Rico, why do you think Bills give up huge run plays? So frustrating to see. Bengals will feast on it. Well, we give up because obviously we don't have our one tech that we wanted. First and foremost. I mean, People weren't running on us when we had DaQuan Jones. I'll tell you that right. DaQuan Jones was playing out of his mind. Show me where they had a huge game when DaQuan Jones was playing this year, right? The minute DaQuan Jones goes down, obviously Milano goes down. That's two pieces in the middle of your defense. That's gone. So a lack of respect for the defense, clear. But why are we letting it? It's discipline, man. You're getting out of your gaps. And not only that are you getting out of your gaps, but you're getting beat up. You're getting run over. You're getting pushed back. Jordan Phillips, as much as I'm a fan of him, I'm cool with him and stuff like that, but he ain't no one tech, bro. He definitely ain't no one tech. So we need someone that's gonna anchor it down, hold it down, and there's only so much we can do with rotating guys. One of them has got to show up. They got to show up. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So that being said, though, I think that if we shuffle some things around and change the philosophy a little bit, and some guys start to get healthy, and Von Miller becomes himself again, I think that changes a little bit. I think we can tighten it up a little on defense and avoid these blunders. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy. Brian Byers, you said it, bro. Brian Byers said, man, Jordan Phillips is too big to be pushed around like you ain't got, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got a purpose to be on the field. You're too big to be pushed around like that. It's no worse. It's the worst thing when you see like a guy that's 6'8", 6'9", and you're gonna go pick up basketball, and you see the size of him, and you're like, oh snap, this guy's gonna be a problem. And then you see him, and he's whack. He's soft. Can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? No worse than when you see, you're about to play football, and you see the running back of the opposing team jacked up. He's doing warm-ups. He's got the the elastic bands on the arms, and he's looking jacked up. And then when the game starts, you send the blitz at him, and he wants to pick up the blitz, and he can't pick it up. He's soft. Then you're like, what are you big for? Big for what? Big for what? Man, get out of here, Dad. So that's what Jordan Phillips gives me. You 6'6", 340. There's no way linemen should be able to push you off your anchor. If anything, they shouldn't be able to push you off whatsoever. You just stay put. That's fine. If you can't get the penetration because they're doubling you, that's fine. But I can't have you getting pushed back 6 yards. Unacceptable. How are you supposed to run the ball that way? Exactly. You can't. So everybody's got to step their game up. Everybody does. End of day. So if you do appreciate the show, you appreciate what Buffalo Fanatics bring to the table, smash that like while you guys are here. And do me a favor, guys. Not only do you want, I'd love for you guys to smash that like, but I'd like you to hit that notification bell. That little notification bell allows you to know when we go live. So that way you're not missing anything. You're not missing myself. You're not missing Z-Bot. You're not missing Pierre. And you're not missing my man Rev. You know what I mean? We're all have our moments when we do our thing. So smash that like, obviously is what we love. And hit that notification bell so you know that when we go on, and nothing pleases me more when I have the same names and faces that join the show all the time because they got notified that your boy is on. So much appreciated, and we love that. We're trying to fix some technical difficulties on the Facebook app. I don't know. Somebody's messing with us. They're trying to jack and take our stuff, bro. It's annoying. Constantly having to change passwords all the time because people are trying to hack our stuff, man. These hackers need to just go away. So bear with us while we try to retrieve our stuff and try to fix things. It may take a while. So keep joining us on Twitter. Keep joining us on Facebook. On YouTube and good old Twitch. And we got you. And it's very, very much appreciated. It really does. And for those that are tuned in to the Bleacher Report app, do not miss a beat. I'll let you guys always know when I'm going. But yeah, man, your boy is part of the Bleacher Report app, and they reached out. I'm able to drop a couple things from your boy, and then we get out, right? So hopefully we can get there a little more often, and we go from there. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys are tuning in. And Dogma just said it, man. I appreciate Dogma. Dogma said, hey, man, hold on. He ain't no mathematician, but he said there's 345 people watching right now and 166 likes. What? So just because he put that on there, let's get this video to 500 likes. 500 likes. Get this video 500 likes, and we go from there. So recapping. Playoff Lenny to the Bills. Rasul Douglas to the Bills. The Buffalo Bills are working their way back, man. We're working our way back. We're trying to get our dubs. We're trying to, feel out what we need to do. We're trying to feel out You know what I mean? Who fits where? We're not far off. We still got some work to do. But ladies and gentlemen, we ain't gonna just lay down for these cats to try to do what they need to do. No. We ain't gonna lay down. And this upcoming game against the Bengals, I don't want to call it the revenge game, but it's a game that we didn't play up to our standards the last time we played them. We absolutely did not. We did not play to our standards. And this is going to be an opportunity for us to say, okay, let's get into it. But it starts with one person. And you know who that is. That's number 17. It starts with one person, and that's 17. So we kind of saw a trend last week. There wasn't that many deep routes sent for Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis was kept a little more shallow. And you saw the results. 9 receptions for over 80 yards. And that touchdown. You know Stephon Diggs is going to get his no matter what. I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more of Khalil Shakir. Let's get Khalil Shakir more involved. So if that was an indication that we're going to see a little bit more spreading of the football, more 11 and 10 personnel, I'll take it. And last but not least, Kincaid, I wouldn't say he broke out, but he finally got himself a touchdown. He got a taste of the end zone. He's getting a taste of the football, getting the football into his hands. So maybe we start to see a little more chemistry, a little bit more footballs going Kincaid's way. Maybe, just maybe, the air raid Bills are back. I don't have no idea. But we got to figure something out. We really do. We got to figure something out. We're it's 5-3. Let's get to 6 wins, and let's get ourselves back on top, because we're not far from being on top of the damn division. Because right now, the next game's coming up. This week 9 is crucial, folks. This is a very, hold on, NFL schedule. I'm going to tell you right now what we're looking at this week. This schedule is a huge one. It's got huge implications for everybody in the AFC, especially the AFC East. Let me tell you what's going on, right? So you got the Titans and Steelers that are going to be facing each other on Thursday, right? Then you got the Dolphins and Chiefs in Germany. So the Chiefs coming off a bad loss, 9 points scored only to a division foe with the Denver Broncos. You got Tyreek Hill returning to play against his old team. All eyes are going to be on that game. And it sucks that they made that game in Germany at 10 a.m. Would you knock it off? That's some buns, man. That's garbage. But the Dolphins could come away and lose this game. Big time implications, right? Let's stick in the AFC. You got the Patriots facing the Commanders. The Commanders just went toe-to-toe with the Eagles. The Patriots have probably the second worst offense in the game. Obviously, the Giants are the worst, and the Patriots are not far behind. So the Commanders could take on the Patriots and take down the Patriots. Not that they matter too much. Seahawks and Ravens, that should be a good one, right? The Ravens, I mean, if they take an L, that's even better, right? Texans took an L last week to the Panthers. We saw that. The Browns are facing the Cardinals. I mean, the Browns should win, but I don't know who's going to be playing the quarterback for them. Colts against the Panthers, and then you got the Raiders. They're a hot mess. Devontae Adams is pissed. And then obviously you got the Bills, Bengals, and the Jets and Chargers. The Jets and Chargers is a massive game. Massive game. Zach Wilson is starting to gain a little traction. He's starting to gain a little confidence in himself, but the Chargers are trying to do some big things too. And that's a big one. That's Monday night. So we get a treat this Sunday. 10 a.m. game. Obviously, it's going to be the Chiefs and the Dolphins. And then Sunday night is obviously us and the Bengals. And then Monday night's the Chargers and Jets. So big time implications for the AFC and the AFC East. It's going to be huge. The Bills need to win this game. We need to win this game because there's a lot of things that will fall into place. And it starts by getting this. We're on a mini bye. We got a little time to prepare for the Bengals, so I don't want to hear anything. The defensive coordinator, and this is the big one, and I don't want to stay too much because there's going to be a lot that we're going to do on Friday, but the Bengals defensive coordinator, Sweet Lou, you guys know who I'm talking about, Lou Anarumo. Was it Anarumo? Sweet Lou Anarumo, he has had our number 2 games straight now. So Ken Dorsey needs to wake up, wipe the crust from his eyes, and get it together because, boy, We're going to need everything we got. We're going to need everything we got. So we'll see. Chargers, Jets, Bills, Bengals, Dolphins, Chiefs. Ooh, tough matchups. And then obviously the Patriots. Patriots are playing, who cares? The Commanders. So we'll see how that plays out, folks. So that being said, folks, smash that like before you get out of here. Smash that like. Let's get to 500 likes on this bitch. And listen, follow me on Twitter. Y'all know what it is. It's Rico_BF_. And hit us up on all social media platforms. Our IG team is killing it right now, as always. And we'll go from there. So as always, I respect every one of you guys for tuning in. You guys don't have to be here, but you come here and you hang with your boy and you sit here for about an hour and a half every week. It's love, man. I appreciate that. And I don't take it for granted. That's for damn sure. So until next time, folks, you guys have yourself a pleasant evening. Let me I got to cue my music up. I got to cue it up.
Until you've tried this.
We got to cue my music up, and then we'll get out of here because I can't just end off with just us talking. So big week up ahead. Hope you guys were safe. Hope you guys go through all your candies for your kids. Make sure that, you know what I mean, there ain't no nonsense because some people are crazy these days and you don't know what they're going to do. And then we'll go from there, folks. So that being said, enjoy your evening, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. And until next time, it's your boy Rico. It's the Buffalo Fanatics, and I'm gone. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll catch you guys again Friday. I'm going to see if I can get some Bengals fans up here, and we'll talk some Bengals, Bills football. And until next time, I want you guys to have a picture of my man, Sean McDermott. Let's go.